1 year ago, on September 29, 2017, Governor Jerry Brown signed California's landmark housing package with 15 game-changing bills that became effective in January of this year. Hi, I'm HCD Director Ben Metcalf with another update on California's housing package. And I've been getting quite a few questions lately about where we are 1 year out. Well, I don't have a house yet to show you that the housing package is built, but I do have some examples of real tangible progress that my team here at HCD, along with practitioners around the state, have made on a host of fronts, and that I'd like to share out with you. First, we are moving fast to get funds out to address homelessness. Senate Bill 2, our perm source for affordable housing, is enabling us to collect more than $125 million over the course of this year. In fact, we're halfway through those collections now, and so far exceeding our initial projections. Our first solicitation for our new California Emergency Solutions and Housing Program, or CESH program, went out just last month, and collaboratives of cities and counties are already submitting their applications to us for review and award. As I've traveled the state over the last few weeks, meeting with local leaders, I've been struck not just by how needed these funds are, but by the way we're beginning to shift the conversation through the state investment. For example, when I visited the Inland Empire a couple weeks back, I could see a heightened level of collaboration emerging among the smaller cities, not just, for example, between Riverside County and Riverside City, but among the 21 local cities. These partnerships will be helpful in regional solutions to tackle homelessness. I saw another great example of the package having an impact when I met earlier this year with the board of directors of the San Diego regional government to let them know what SANDAG's new allocation of units would be for their regional housing needs allocation cycle, or RHNA cycle. SANDAG is actually one of the first up in hearing from the state what their numbers are in terms of how many units and at what income levels their county and cities will have to ensure are minimally planned for. Now that's to say, the San Diego area will have to have a big enough zoning envelope with actual sites identified to accommodate the growth we expect them to see. The target number we gave SANDAG of 171,000 new units was substantially bigger than it would have been without changes in state law that allowed us to factor in overcrowding. Another obvious example of the visible effects of the housing package comes from Senate Bill 35, which created a state ministerial streamlined approval process for developments in localities that are not meeting their state housing targets. And I'm proud to report that we know of 3 that have already been approved by their local governments and will be bringing new homes to market faster and cheaper as a result. Another visible outgrowth of the housing package comes from the state's increased ability to enforce compliance with housing laws at the local level. In fact, using new authority from the package, we've already sent letters to 46 local governments who are at risk of housing element decertification. You can actually read all those letters. They're posted up on our website. These are due to failures to carry through on what they committed to do, such as planned rezonings, from the last RHNA housing cycle. Now, this might sound like just pushing a lot of paperwork back and forth between the states and the cities, but it actually has ramifications on the ground. For example, the city of Clovis is using our notification of their potential decertification as justification for moving forward on approving a new 3-story senior housing development with 75 units. And I was very pleased to see the city of Pasadena stop work on a citywide height reduction in one of its targeted growth areas after conversations with our staff here. Now, was that solely due to our new enforcement authorities? No. Has having these new enforcement authorities made cities more thoughtful in the planning, the land use, the approval changes that they've been making in hundreds of instances over the last year? Absolutely. And for those cities who are out there who are not only violating state law, but doing it in a severe and persistent pattern, I've got news for you. We've already moved forward a first referral to the state's Attorney General's office and working hard on the second, so stay tuned. And lastly, I'd be remiss not to mention the new authority the package gave local governments to enact inclusionary zoning ordinances, which has been widely used. For example, South San Francisco just voted in September to allow inclusionary rental housing with a 10% affordability requirement, growing to 15% next year. Redwood City passed an inclusionary ordinance back in May that requires a 20% set aside for low-income housing. And Los Angeles has actually reinstated the inclusionary requirement that originally gave rise to the Palmer case, which halted inclusionary zoning programs several years back. So look, these are just a few of the ways that I would argue the world is different here in California just 1 year out from the signing of the package. We'll be putting out social media posts every day for the next week, profiling specific case studies of these kinds of progress. And I encourage each of you to contact me and the team here at HCD to let us know where you see things that are different 1 year out. I'd also like to hear from you as to where you think we might be off track as we finish out our first year of implementation. So thank you.